This is what I use. And I do it every month. I just update it. It's a spreadsheet listing the commodities that I track or the feed ingredients. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Beginning inventory, what's coming in, what's going out, and what my ending inventory is. When you're if you're using the commodity module, not everybody does, but with a commodity module, I enter everything that comes in with scale tickets. I would assume everybody knows how to do that. Is that fairly standard? Think so? Okay, then we all know what that is. And contracts and scale tickets are linked to contracts. I'm assuming you use that as well. Prices are set in the contracts. So when you link a scale ticket to the contract, you have a price for that scale ticket for that load. If you've entered everything correctly, what I do at month end, I start printing reports. In the commodity module, I go to, and Canon has set this up that it's preset. You click on contracts, print invoices, and it's pre-populated for the previous month. Let's say I'm doing this on March 1st, it's populated for February, and it's for all locations, and it's all set already. Guess I could be looking up here. Paid and unpaid tickets, everything, it's every load, correct? Right, the way it's preset? And then I print it. I guess you can, yeah. I like paper copies, I said. If you have any commodity offsets, you can print a report for this also. Does anybody not use offsets? Everybody knows what the offsets is. If you just have something extraneous that you need to track, I enter them there as either leaving or arriving, and then you print a report for that as well. And that's something you have to set up yourself. It's not a preset report. Then in the office module, yard reports, feedlot usage. This is preset for the previous month as well. And it's pre-selected for feed by ingredient and feed by ration. I just usually select feed by ingredient. And I also select inputs because straw for us, bedding, we use straw as feed and we also use straw as bedding. They're tracked differently. So I want to make sure I capture them both, so then I print input usage as well. Or you may have other items. It totally depends how you're set up. And print that, and that will list for me everything that's gone out. At the end of the month, I print the report, the list commodity offset report, and here's what. I just made one up, hence the blah, blah, blah. This is what it just looks like. It's for my benefit. These are the fields that I've selected. I've just got the commodity name, the date. We have 2 feedlots, so I have to print it for each location, whether it's arriving or leaving, the amount, and a note, and who is linked to contact. Then once I have all these reports, I plug them into my spreadsheet, and I typically do it manually. I write the numbers in there, and then I do the math 3 times to make sure I did it right. On occasion, if you have a zero balance on a product, that's a good time to restart your inventory. If that happens, say in the middle of the month we've run out of something, I will record what date that is, start at 0 again, and then look at what has come in since that date, print a report, look at what's gone out, and do kind of a reconciliation. And that's usually when we find out discrepancies. I mean, there's always, we have wind, right? DDGs blow away, and that's often a time when we can reconcile and actually know how much has been lost, which is a shrink number. One other thing I was asking Canada about was the daily feed. I'm not sure what it's called here. I'll go to feed. In the feeding module, daily feed detail. I always do this every month. I go to the usage summary, and it takes a few minutes, and I go through each day. You just select it in the date field, and you can use the minus or the plus on the screen, on your keypad, and you hit minus, tab, and it takes you to the previous day. And I always look at these two bottom numbers here to make sure that they are fairly close, because in the past we have had loads of feed that were made where the feed truck driver hit something twice and made the load of feed twice when in actuality he only did once. So this number would be like twice as high as this number. The total loaded, Canon has explained to me, is it will be tracked in inventory, and what is fed out is what's delivered will go into your feedlot usage report. So if there's a discrepancy, I just do this as a check to make sure that what got loaded onto the feed truck and what got fed out jive. And if there's any errors, you can kind of figure them out from there and fix them. And I don't have that issue so much anymore, but there was a time for a whole month when we did, and it wasn't fun.
Those numbers will tie into if you leave feed left over in the mixer from the previous day too, right?
Yeah, what'll happen is, if you'll have to look at both days, add up the numbers, yeah. And then they should match. You can add up the total loaded from one day and the total loaded from the next day. Same with what's delivered. And then those totals should be, because that happens sometimes, right? You leave feed on, we don't try to leave feed on the truck, but if there's a breakdown or something and if it's left on the truck, yeah. The other thing is the unbilled feed. Those numbers will change a bit. I wasn't aware of that until recently. Probably put it on the email list. If cattle are fed in the morning, they're shipped out in the afternoon, and the pen is empty at night, you will get a notice that there's unbilled feed detected. And so then one of the solutions is to go to the unbilled feed, in office, yard reports, unbilled feed, and so if it's listed there, are there any listed on here? Well, it'll show up in the line. It'll show up there. You click on it, and it'll give you the choice to edit the delivery, and then you just change the date to the previous date so that it gets allocated to the correct lot or pen. And then when you look at the feedlot usage report, there will be a slight discrepancy because it was loaded one day, but it was fed the previous day. Or you could switch it to the next day if you needed to. That happens when you allocate feed to a pen before there's actually cattle in there. So I think that's it for me. Elsha is going to do it all on Fusion.
Thank you. Perfect. Well, thank you very much for coming out.